One of my favorite places to explore my somatic self is on the ground. Somatic grounding is a term used to describe the process of sensing movement on the floor. It connects us to our natural blueprints, and it reminds us of how children begin to move when they're on the ground. And we have this inner blueprint of our body. We lose that ability to move spontaneously as we get older. Prescribed movement patterns take over. So in somatic movement practices, coming to the ground to reconnect with our original blueprint is really essential. Another reason that coming to the ground is so great is it calms the strain in our body. So if standing feels uncomfortable, coming to the ground is a good place to explore. So if you can really just find space, make sure you have enough space to spend time with yourself on the ground, reconnecting with your original blueprint. And the first part of any somatic practice is to come to rest, just resting on the ground and allowing your body to self-adjust to find ease. So have the freedom to move around. Because resting doesn't mean that you come to stillness. It means that you listen to, oh, where do I need to just wiggle a little? Oh, and just come to bring my body to quiet. So you can move around a bit, be in your fascial body, and come to pause and rest on the ground. And then if you can bring your awareness to your feet. And in this next practice, we're going to explore how just moving your heels against the ground back and forth involves your whole body. So a little bit like the body bounce. Remember, we looked at how fascia is just one fabric filled with a gel. It's the same here, just moving your heels back and forth. And then let go of that. Now, you may have your eyes opened or closed. If you find that eyes closed just doesn't work for you, you're not ready for that, you can keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes open. You might look around the space and just explore. When you do close your eyes, if there is a curiosity with exploring with eyes closed, just notice whether you sense more. You can adjust from the inside out. And this first part of the practice is just to pause every time you're moving your heels. You might even reach the heels as far away as you can. Just exploring, playing, resting, adjusting. And in between, you can wiggle, shuffle. It's moving the ground. And then imagine that, oh, you've just woken up for the first time today. Just allow your body to unwind in that pandiculation sensation. And then finding the sense of letting go. And we come to a couple of natural blueprints. So the ground helps us to initiate movement, either with a foot or a hand, sending the floor away. So let's fold the right leg or the left. I'm using right. You might be seeing me in a mirror image. So I'm going to talk about folding your right leg and then come to rest. And in this next practice, we explore a natural blueprint of rolling. So if you can send the floor away with your foot, just notice how your pelvis rolls off the ground towards the left side and then comes down back to the ground. So when children or babies begin to explore, they can sense the ground with their foot. And this rolling pattern emerges. You could rest here for a bit. And in resting, you might notice that your thigh bone begins to rock spontaneously. So for the first part of the practice, it's just connecting to some natural patterns of the body before we come to unwinding. And when you're ready to send the floor away, just notice how the breath responds. It's a pandiculation sensation, and then a sigh. So there's an expanding sensation and then a sigh. You could pause in between and let your thigh bone rock if that happens. If that doesn't happen for you, you can continue with sending the ground away and just noticing how the pelvis rolls off the ground. And then you could let that go, rest for a little bit. And explore that same pattern on the opposite side. How do you take your time listening, allowing? And could you continue the practice on the opposite side? And in this practice, how do you pay attention to the way the breath arrives in the body? How the body takes a spontaneous expansion, and then there may be a sigh as you come back. So it's continuing with this pandiculation sensation on the ground. You don't have to follow me. You could just listen to your own body. And that's really the purpose of the practice, is to explore on your own when you are ready. In between, you could pause. Just listening to the sound of my voice when you're on the ground will really help you to connect to your sensing self. Please feel free to pause at any time and unfold your leg if you wish, taking a rest in between. And you could come back to that exploration in your own way. You might decide to explore one side, the other side, or just notice if one side feels different to the other and how the breath responds. And I'm going to leave you to continue with your own practice for a little while. Whatever arises, so you're just connecting to the ground, connecting to yourself, listening, allowing. A rocking, pulsing movement might arise. So whatever emerges, and then when you have the curiosity to explore the way the body moves when you send the ground away, you can come back to that. Another option for sending the floor away is adding a pulsing movement. So just a pulsing, might be a little pulse. You could explore that. Please rest at any time. And in this resting state, you may notice a little pelvic rock. If that doesn't happen for you, how could you invite this rocking sensation to soothe any areas of strain? And then every now and again, you could send the ground away. You can notice, you can pulse. And this is where your intuitive practice begins, where you're just exploring and allowing. So I may set you up with a motion, and the rest is you allowing yourself to explore, noticing how the head responds, your shoulders. And the most important part of the practice is to allow your body to move spontaneously where it feels like it's being taken care of. So that blueprint is just sending the ground. Everything else is intuitive. Just exploring, allowing, listening, getting into those areas that need a little bit of hydrating, resting at any time, and allowing the body to just move spontaneously every now and again. And let's come back then to this time bending both knees. And where you place your feet will allow a pelvic rock to emerge. If your feet are really close to your pelvis, you could explore this with your feet close to your pelvis. There might be the urge to press the feet into the ground, which is different. And with your feet a little further away, you may notice that a pelvic rock emerges. So this rocking sensation arises from within your body. And as you're rocking, how is it taking care of the area around your lower back, your pelvis? So notice how your pelvis moves like a bowl, like a food bowl. And how does the sensation take care of you? Where does it take care of you? What parts? Is it just your lower back, or is it more other parts of you too? Just this pelvic rock. So then you could let go of that for a moment. And this time, if you can bring your feet a little closer, you will notice the pelvic rock may stop, and that's okay. And this time, could you drop your right knee to the ground? So where you had your leg lengthened before, the knee is bent, and instead you're just dropping that to the ground. And in that sensation, could you then add a little rocking motion, perhaps? Just a little rock, and same sensation of sending the ground away. With your foot, a pandiculation arises. Oh, that urge to unwind. And then come back and exploring the opposite side in the same way. So you're just rocking from one side to the other and finding that sensation of pandiculation. So when you drop your left knee to the ground, you can stand into your right foot. And when you drop your right knee to the ground, you can stand into your left foot. And then notice how the whole fabric of your body responds. And when you're standing into the ground, how does it get into your shoulders, into your neck, into your arm from the inside out? So just noticing that. So this blueprint brings you to the original blueprint of your body. If you can let go of that, just come to rocking. And this is how babies begin to rock and roll on the ground. So in this next practice, we continue with this blueprint and allow the process of fascial unwinding to emerge. So what that means is to listen to your body. And this time, to follow where your body takes you spontaneously. So if you're rolling onto one side, let your body take you there. You might listen and notice that the urge to pulse arises, or not. It may not. If it does, you can stay with that. Please feel free to move your arms where they feel best. And this is where the fascial unwinding process begins, because you have the freedom to listen and allow. Allow yourself to move to where it feels most easeful, to find what feels good. You might find that your body rolls, and your body may not go to where my body's going to, and that's okay. You might just begin with rocking from side to side and unwinding there. And then finding an intuitive motion, a rocking motion, a pulsing motion. So just allowing the process to emerge for you. And this part of the practice, you're finding the freedom to listen, allow, to move where your body takes you spontaneously. And please follow that in your own body. You don't have to follow where I'm going to. Please follow your own body. I'm just listening to where my body's taking me, and you can unlock the process of fascial unwinding just by rocking from side to side. If you get stuck at any time, you can pause and rest. So if you find that you've rolled over to your side or your front, you just pause there, rest, and let the body find its way. Just allowing the body to find its way, and then to rest where it feels best. Just rest where it feels best. You can rock and pulse. And really pause wherever you land and allow the process of motion to emerge. And this is where you really get to listen to your own body, to be at one with yourself, with the ground, to allow, to move where it takes care of you. You've arrived in your soma, your original blueprint, your self-moving body. If you get stuck, it's okay. You just might find that the body moves. If you really get stuck, please just come back and rest and come back to a rocking motion of your pelvis, and then let it take you to wherever it takes you. Even if it just takes you rocking from side to side, it may not take you any further than that, because your body moves to the information that's changing from moment to moment. As the sensation changes, the information changes, your body will move again. You just wait. You wait and you listen and you allow, and you'll notice that you start to send the floor away from you. Just really allowing that process to emerge. And you can practice fascial unwinding anytime, anywhere. You can start on the ground. You can start in 4-point kneeling, as we did before. And you're just listening and allowing your body to move spontaneously. Wherever you land, how do you rest and allow your body to take over? To pulse and to coax and to move and to allow. There'll be movements that get into areas that a stretch can never get into. Really trusting in your body sensation. You can never injure yourself in this practice, because you'll only move to where your body takes you, where it feels at ease. Everything is effortless. Everything moves in a spiral motion from the inside out, just as your embryo you as an embryo began to move at the start of life, that blueprint is in your body, and it's the way that you connect to inner healing. This is incredibly healing of your whole body, your whole biological system, as well as your mind and body. It will take care of any habits and patterns and behaviors that become stuck in the body. This practice takes care of that by coming home to your original self, to spend time, to nurture, to nourish, to allow. Just see where it takes you. You're coming home to your ability to move with freedom from the ground to standing, where you don't actually need to be taught any particular way. Ooh, it's going to come to the ground to reconnect with you. Really, that is the fascial unwinding is just the ultimate self-healing process. It really, really is. It connects you to an inner knowing beyond your mind. So I hope that's taken care of you. If you have anything to share about how that landed for you, I'd really love to hear from you.